Okay, that was a nice daytime nap. But, not gonna lie, I actually sleep during most of the day, actually, in real life. What is up, guys? If you are new here or returning, my name is Ryan World Movies, and for this month of October, in the spirit of the Halloween season, my content throughout this month will be themed towards Halloween or horror genre in the spirit of Halloween, to hopefully join in on the fun of celebrating the season of spooky monsters and ghostly ghouls, haunting fables, and grimly antics. So if you are joining in on the fun this Halloween season, be sure to smash that subscribe button like you're beating a zombie, swipe or punch that like button like you're fighting a monster, and don't forget to share this video around to help with the traction and the views as though you're sharing another scary fable to tell. Any sort of support to boost the channel would be very much appreciated, and as you can see, yeah, the skeleton glove is getting much worse and is flailing around like crazy, so I think on that note, without further ado, let's get this night started, shall we? But yes, along with putting out content in relation to horror or Halloween genre films or TV shows this month, I also thought it'd be even more fun to kind of dress up a little bit. So this video, I'm dressing up kind of like a vampire. I know this costume kind of looks cheap, but this is like a little kid's vampire costume that I had for a very long while now. It's like, okay, it's the only costume one of the only costumes I can find, okay? So yeah, don't judge, okay? Anyways, to kick off and start off this month, this will be a video of my review for the movie Haunted Mansion, which came out in July earlier this year, which is a reboot / remake of the 2003 film adaptation of the same Disneyland attraction of the same name. Haunted Mansion this year tells the story of a single mother and her son discovering that the mansion is haunted after attempting to move into it. They enlist a team of a bunch of supposed experts, quote-unquote, of dealing with the supernatural to help them remove the grim-grinning-ghosts from the mansion. See what I did there, though? I hope you Disney fans who so happen to be coming across this video get that song reference. But honestly, this time around, yeah, I mean, this movie is, there's nothing really entirely special about it. I mean, like, not only did it come out in the wrong month, it came out in the summer rather than it should have come out like this year. I mean, it came out on Disney Plus, just a couple of days ago. I guess you could count that as sort of like a re-release, I guess. But yeah, it's just a fun, average movie, mainly for entertainment, and mainly for, like, targeted towards the family and friends audience. So it's a very family-friendly horror movie. I'd be really surprised to those who actually find this, like, truly, really scary, like, life-scarring for that matter. But it does include some fun little Easter eggs which I managed to catch in the film, including when the residents of the mansion first tried to run away from the mansion and the ghosts chase after them saying, "Better hurry back," and shots from angles of which you would actually see that section of the mansion in the actual ride, and of course the iconic Grim-Grinning-Ghosts song, which will obviously sound familiar to you very hardcore Disney fans. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big Disney fan myself, and so yeah, I obviously geeked out when that song came out. You know, it's one of my favorite Disney songs of all time. But honestly, I did not expect this movie to entertain me this much, let alone make me laugh a couple of times throughout this movie with its funny moments. But yeah, it did manage to get a chuckle out of me for, you know, plenty of times. Though I think it's mainly because you really need to keep an open mind that, you know, this is just a movie for entertainment, and yeah, just not to expect so much out of this movie. It's not like it's aiming to be like the greatest thing out there. I think it's just a, you know, a fun movie just to watch with the family, just to have a little fun time at. But what really elevates this movie for me is the cast performances. I mean, you got Lakeith Stanfield, Owen Wilson, Jamie Lee Curtis, Danny DeVito, Rosario Dawson, Tiffany Haddish, and even Jared Leto. I think we can just assume that this is where Morbius went off to after the failure of this film, and this is how he ended up in the Disney Haunted Mansion.
It's Morbin time.
Because yeah, with such a talented ensemble of a cast such as this, I can really say that they're really trying to put in their all in this movie, which I really do appreciate. Because otherwise this movie has just a very average story and plot, which is honestly there's not really anything special about it. It's not like one of those like grander scale stories out there. I mean, the points in the story and with the writing and script that, you know, they tried to uplift it with some ideas for the character's development in this movie, especially with Ben's character, who's played by Lakeith Steinfeld. Again, really love the cast performances, so nothing against their acting. They all are really good. They at least tried with the material they're given, but for most of them, I feel that they don't really do enough. This movie doesn't really do enough to, you know, for me to care about them more than I wanted to. Because yeah, I really wanted to see more of them, nor are they given enough material to work from, these actors, in order to make the characters, I wouldn't say more likable, but more developed. Like, most of the characters, you could pretty much just, you could just say that they're there, you know, they just, you know, they're there to serve their purpose, and that's pretty much it. They don't really have, you know, an additional value to them of which I need to care for, you know? Like I said, the only characters that I really liked in this movie were Ben and Owen Wilson's character, Father Kent, which they built up some of the more emotional moments in the movie, which, not gonna lie, I did feel for them, which, yeah, I really do appreciate from this movie. Or maybe to come to think of it, and maybe just maybe because of like the imbalance in tone that it is. I mean, it's trying to be like a horror movie, it's trying to be a family movie, it's trying to be a semi-comedy movie, and you try to like jumble all these up, and it just like, oh, I don't know, just makes this, I guess. So yeah, overall I'm pretty mixed on this movie, and I wouldn't say there are bad things I didn't like about this movie, more like nitpicks. Not gonna lie, this movie kind of also reminds me of Beetlejuice in a way. Like, now that I think about it, the plots and premise are very similar to each other. Like, you have a family that moves into a mansion haunted by ghosts, and they have to get somebody or some people or some things to help them get rid of the ghosts. But in the end, everyone kind of agrees to live peacefully together, you know, humans and ghosts living together. So yeah, this movie kind of gave me Beetlejuice vibes. I mean, I'm not sure if that was intentional. I'm not even sure if that was even intentional of the original 2003 live-action adaptation too. Another kind of, you know, personal nitpicks I kind of picked out were, you know, they're moving into a house at night. Like, whose idea was that? Who moves into a new house that looks like so scary and creepy in the dark at nighttime? Whose idea was that? Who would even do that? And also, when Ben first goes to the mansion to help the Rosario Dawson and the kid help out with trying to find the ghost haunting their mansion, he goes to the mansion without charging up the battery of his camera, which that made me cringe so hard because I actually have real life experience doing that. So yeah, just really brought back bad memories of that. Don't do that. If you are working in a similar fashion, you know, trying with cameras and you forget to charge your battery, yeah, I really do feel bad for you. There's also a point in the movie where Bruce Davis, who's Danny DeVito's character, gets hit by a truck, and he's clearly sustaining injuries, but yet after a while or a few hours later in movie time, you know, he walks as though the accident didn't even happen. And I'm like, how did he heal up so fast? But I guess, like, it's kind of semi-okay because he's Danny DeVito. There's also this one plot inconsistency that I found in this movie that kind of bugged me, and that involves Travis the kid who's mourning the loss of his father. There's a whole subplot of that, and that's why Rosario Dawson's character Grace is a single mother to him. And then there's this kind of backstory where it involves a character from like hundreds of years ago. I think his name is Gracie, where he killed himself because he was lured by the voice of his late wife, but was actually tricked by Alistair Crumb, who's the main evil ghost spirit who's controlling everything in this movie, who's played by Jared Leto, and mainly because Jamie Lee Curtis's character was involved in summoning the spirits for this Gracie character, and Travis was there to hear the story. And so when Travis is lured by Alistair Crumb, who's using his late father's voice to lure him to the afterlife for his 1,000 spirits, yeah, that kind of bugged me because, like, I was asking myself, did he not remember what happened at that story? Then why would he still easily, you know, if he was there listening to it, why would he still easily fall for the fake spirit of his father calling him in the final battle? Which, I mean, I understand how much he misses him, but still, kind of thought that part of the plot was kind of inconsistent. And speaking of Travis, I'm actually thinking, can we consider this kid Travis a kid version of Eddie Murphy's character from the other live action adaptation of this movie? I mean, they don't share the same name, obviously, but I mean, I don't know, just a random thought. And in terms of whether it follows, you know, the actual Haunted Mansion lore of the actual Disneyland attraction, I mean, I don't know. Maybe for you Disneyland fans who are somehow watching this, I mean, you can let me know in the comments below how well it adapts the, you know, the lore and the stories from the actual ride. But honestly, I'd still say this film is one of the better Disney films based on their theme park rides. I mean, that's not necessarily saying much. I mean, especially in comparison to like Jungle Cruise or Tomorrowland. And I kind of just watched it in the spirit of Halloween. I mean, I didn't watch it when it came out, but it just came out on Disney Plus, and I thought it seemed a more appropriate time and place to kind of see it. But yeah, this movie, I think for me as like a young adult, it's not necessarily for me. It's mainly targeted towards, again, the family and kids, you know, family-friendly movie of entertainment. Because yeah, in the end, it's just an average or general movie, you know, with great cast performances, good cast performances, as I could tell they're doing the best with what they've got. But not given enough to lift the very basic story and plot, which it has ideas towards, you know, developing its own characters. But and this stuff therefore does its job of dragging this movie out a bit for its very basic plot. But yeah, those weren't present enough for me to kind of, you know, care for them more. Or I was just not satisfied enough because, yeah, I wanted to see more of them, but yeah, I didn't get a chance to, given how basic and simple this movie is. I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a 6 out of 10 and a B-. Something that I will say about this movie, and I actually found this out as I was, you know, writing up for what I wanted to say in this video, but yeah, the names Crump and Gracie, who are names that you, for some of the characters, especially some of the ghosts in this movie, you know, it's actually, I don't know if this was intentional or not, or on Disney's part, but yeah, Crump and Gracie, they're actually real names of real people, Rolly Crump and Yale Gracie, who were two of the designers of the Haunted Mansion ride, you know, decades ago from the original Disneyland in California, which, as I read that, I thought it was just really wholesome. I mean, I don't know if it was intentional, but if it was, then yeah, I just feel it was really wholesome, especially since this is Disney's 100th year anniversary, so it kind of makes sense for Disney to kind of reflect on its own legacy. And I thought this was a nice way of doing that and appreciating the original creators or designers or crew that were taking part in the original design of the actual theme park ride. And fun fact, this movie was originally supposed to be helmed by Guillermo del Toro, and which really sounds badass. I mean, I don't know what would a Haunted Mansion movie look like with Guillermo del Toro at the helm. I mean, I don't know, if only we would live in that reality. But I guess we can only dream, can't we? And speaking of how this movie was all about fighting ghosts, you know who they should have really called? Ghostbusters! So yes, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this first installment of, you know, my very own Halloween month on this channel. If you did, make sure to smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, be sure to share this around. Really do appreciate that. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Rhinos, roll out, and good night.